Beneath Europe's soil, forgotten bunkers and cellars lie sealed, silent witnesses to a vanished world. These hidden spaces, untouched for decades, are relics of a time when fear and uncertainty shaped daily life. Dust drifts through thin light, illuminating shelves lined with the ghosts of provisions, remnants of a desperate struggle for survival. The air is thick with memories, each particle a fragment of the past. Each jar and tin tells a story of fear, hope, and the human instinct to endure. Preserved fruits, pickled vegetables, and rusted tins once offered comfort in the darkest hours. Imagine a kitchen abandoned in haste, a single cup on the counter, dust thick on every surface. The echoes of hurried footsteps linger as if the past is just out of reach. The silence here is deep, a testament to hurried departures and the slow passage of time. It's a silence that holds both loss and longing, stretching across generations. Stark, utilitarian packages line the shelves, built to outlast chaos, to provide when all else failed. Their faded labels and battered edges speak of endurance and necessity. These pantries were sanctuaries, physical proof of a family's will to live and hope for tomorrow. Within these walls, people found a fragile sense of safety amid the turmoil above. Rediscovered today, they are time capsules, preserving not just food but the anxieties and resilience of a generation under the shadow of war. In their silence they remind us of the strength it took to survive. As World War II loomed, a battle against hunger began. Food became a weapon. Blockades, bombings, and ruined fields threatened starvation. Stockpiling was no longer just prudent. It was a national strategy. Families turned kitchens and cellars into fortresses, every jar and tin a defense against uncertainty. Governments launched campaigns, Dig for Victory, rationing, and secret reserves. Food was precious, strategic, and a symbol of resilience. The pressure to conserve and plan shaped daily life and national policy. These choices, what to grow, preserve, and store, determined who would endure the long, dark years ahead. Wartime pantries were built on science and necessity. Longevity and nutrition were key. Grains, legumes, and sugars formed the foundation, dense in calories, cheap and long-lasting. Sugar and salt weren't just for taste, they preserved fruits and meats extending harvest through winter. Tinned foods, meats, fish, vegetables, offered variety and vital nutrients, protected from spoilage by airtight cans. Rationing dictated what families could store, making every coupon and trade count. Stockpiling was slow, methodical, and required sacrifice. Pantries became mosaics of rationed goods and home-preserved produce. They stand as testaments to the ingenuity and foresight of ordinary people facing extraordinary times. Some foods seem almost immortal. Honey, salt, and sugar can last for centuries, defying the passage of time and the elements. Honey's low moisture, high acidity, and natural enzymes make it inhospitable to bacteria and mold. Archaeologists have even found ancient honey, thousands of years old, still perfectly edible. Salt preserves by drawing water out of food, creating an environment where microbes can't survive. This is why salted meats and fish could last for months, even without refrigeration. Sugar works in a similar way, binding water in jams and preserves, protecting fruit from decay, and allowing families to enjoy the taste of summer fruit all year long. These simple ingredients were the backbone of preservation, capturing summer's abundance for the lean months and turning perishable harvests into lasting stores of food. During war and hardship, Families relied on these methods to stretch supplies, reduce waste, and ensure survival through the toughest times. The science of preservation was ancient, passed down through generations, but its importance was rediscovered in every crisis when food security was threatened. Honey, salt, and sugar were more than just food. They were lifelines, essential tools for survival and comfort. Their presence in the pantry was a sweet, salty promise against the bitterness of conflict, a reminder that even in hard times, a little ingenuity could preserve hope, reserve. White rice was a survival staple, prized for its decades-long shelf life. Milling removes the bran and germ, nutritious but oily and quick to spoil, leaving the starchy, stable endosperm. Stored cool and dry, white rice could last 30 years, making it invaluable during war. Families protected their rice in sealed containers, knowing a spoiled sack was a devastating loss. Brown rice, though healthier, spoiled quickly. White rice was chosen for endurance, not nutrition. The lesson in crisis: longevity trumps freshness. A sack of rice was a promise of meals when the future was uncertain. Sometimes the most processed food is the most practical for survival. Tinned meat and powdered milk revolutionized wartime stockpiling. Canning sealed protein-rich foods, corned beef, ham, spam, safe from spoilage for years. These tins were durable, portable, and morale-boosting, eaten cold or hot in shelters and on the front lines. Powdered milk, made by evaporating water from fresh milk, offered vital nutrition when supplies ran out. Just add water. Powdered milk was versatile for drinking, cooking, and baking. Alongside powdered eggs, these products were triumphs of food science, lightweight and stable. They ensured children and the vulnerable had access to essential nutrients. Tinned and powdered foods became the backbone of emergency larders, sustaining families through the darkest times. Opening a forgotten shelter is like stepping into a time capsule, where every creak of the door and musty breath of air hints at stories long left untold. Dust and cobwebs shroud shelves lined with provisions, pickled onions, rusted tins, sugar hardened to stone. These relics, untouched for decades, speak of a time when every item was chosen with care and hope. These leftovers are echoes of fear and hope, the surplus of a crisis that, mercifully, ended. Each can and jar is a memory preserved, a testament to the uncertainty that once gripped the world. Each item is a silent witness to careful planning and the anxiety of survival. The shelves themselves seem to whisper about the hands that stocked them and the minds that worried over every meal. The variety, jams, rice, tinned fish, shows a desire for comfort, not just subsistence. Even in the darkest times, people sought small joys and familiar tastes to keep hope alive. Handwritten labels and faded brands connect us directly to the people who prepared for the worst. Their careful notes and preserved goods are a bridge across generations, linking us to their fears and dreams. These artifacts transform history into a human story, making the past feel immediate and real. They remind us that behind every ration and relic was a person, hoping for a better tomorrow. They reveal the psychology of survival, a refusal to surrender normalcy, even in war. The effort to maintain routines and comforts speaks volumes about the human spirit. The past lingers in these pantries, reminding us of ordinary people's extraordinary resilience and the enduring hope that carried them through the darkest days. Wartime pantries are classrooms in survival, teaching foresight and resilience. Preparation was essential. Stockpiling was a buffer against catastrophe, rooted in pragmatism, not panic. Families chose foods for shelf life and nutrition, mastering preservation through canning, pickling, and drying. Effective preparation meant knowledge and planning, not hoarding. These pantries embodied resilience, a refusal to be helpless, a resource for enduring hardship. The psychological comfort of a stocked pantry was immense, a declaration of agency in chaos. Today, these lessons are more relevant than ever as new uncertainties threaten our supply chains. The silent pantries urge us to think ahead, learn preservation skills, and keep essential supplies. It's not about fear, but quiet confidence in caring for ourselves and our loved ones. The legacy of wartime stockpiling endures, in immortal foods and the spirit they represent. A jar of preserves from 1943 is more than old food. It's a story of hope and tenacity. Scarcity forged habits of thrift and self-reliance, passed down through generations. The dig for victory spirit lives on in gardens and renewed interest in preservation. Wartime stockpiling was quiet defiance, a commitment to life and the future. These pantries remind us of our capacity for resilience in uncertain times. The true nourishment was not just in the food, but in the will to survive and hope. With foresight and determination, we can endure almost any hardship,